Hi everyone, and welcome to Mini Lecture 17. Today we'll be discussing Academic Search Ultimate. Before we begin, take a moment to gather the materials for today's lecture assignment. You'll need a Word document to do some writing on and access to your current project draft materials. Academic Search Ultimate, formerly known as Academic Search Premier, is a scholarly multidisciplinary database with full text coverage of over 10,000 journals in a range of subjects. This database is a good starting place for almost any topic search. And there's so much truth behind that. I've used Academic Search Ultimate for my own research. Those that I've known who are in radically different fields, everything from business to performing arts to chemistry, all use Academic Search Ultimate to find articles, scholarly articles for their research. So really, regardless of what you are exploring, regardless of what you're interested in, Academic Search Ultimate is going to be a great resource for you in finding that information. So, with all that information readily available, let's take a look at how to navigate to Academic Search Ultimate and then take a look at the database itself, become familiar with its interface and basically how we can search keywords and find the information that we're looking for. Okay, so I am right now on the DSU Library homepage. In order to navigate to Academic Search Ultimate, I'll go to this far left column here and click on Article Databases. The way that this website is set up, I could very reasonably go to any one of the first 4 links here and be able to find it, but just for the sake of the lecture, and honestly it's a little bit easier just to go through this link, I'm going to click on the general/multi-subject list. And snap, look, it's the first one that comes up. These are alphabetized, so that is why, but again, this is also a very popular scholarly database. So, when we get to the landing page here, we are greeted first and foremost by a search bar. And so we can just plug in basic terms, or if we want, we can even go through and alter our search in order to make sure that we find the best information possible. So let's, for example, let's just type in opioid. Oh, there we go. Let's say I'm interested in opioid addiction. I'm not refining my search results in any way, shape, form. I am just typing in opioid addiction, and I'm going to see all of the results that come back to me. Okay, so it says search results 1 through 20 of 27,361. That's a lot of articles to sift through. Now, as we go through, we can see here from the different results, not only do we get the title of the article itself, we get the authors, and we get the type of work that it is. Now, with Academic Search Ultimate, you could get everything from chapters and books to academic journals to newspapers, so you really can get a wide variety of information. So that's also important to keep an eye out for. Look, we can even get videos from the Associated Press if the topic is recent enough to have these videos available. So we can go through here, and it'll also tell us what kind of versions of the full text that they have. So for example, this one, best practices and recommendations, is just an HTML full text, whereas volatility and change in chronic pain is available as both an HTML and a PDF. So based off of the device you're working on, that might be something to keep in mind as well. So again, we have got a lot of results here, and it would take us forever to try and sift through all of them. So let's take a step back and use the advanced search feature, because you can see here we just used the basic search this first time around. Let's go to advanced search. So if I go here, opioid, there we go. And let's say that I just want to look at opioid addiction in the US. So I type in United States. One thing that I would like to point out is we've got this drop-down menu here that says and or not. If I say opioid addiction and the United States, that means all of my search results will have both terms somewhere in the text, be it the title or the abstract or the article or in all of those categories. If I select the word or, then I'm going to get results that either include opioid addiction or the United States. So it's going to be a toss-up between what I get. So I could get opioid addiction in Canada, or I could get the United States and pre-K education. So you can see here how this one might be helpful if you're trying to differentiate between two very similar terms, but if the terms are not really synonymous, you want to avoid using or. The last word that we can use would be the word not. What not tells the database is that I want articles on opioid addiction, but I do not want the United States mentioned, and so it will not present any articles, any really search results that have the words United States in them. But for the sake of this example, let's just use and. And of course, we can go here if we want to search the entire text, which is something I would suggest. It's the default selection on this database. But if we're looking for a specific author, maybe someone who you've read in a previous class or whose work you've engaged with previously, maybe we want to find those keywords in the title and so on. And then, of course, we can go down and get more specific, but I would say that default to all text, but you can definitely play around with these other options as well. So also as we go through Academic Search or Academic Search Ultimate, we want to, regardless of what we're searching, just to make it easier on us, there are a couple of boxes that we're going to want to tick here. So we want to limit our results to full text. Unlike other databases like JSTOR or Science Direct, there is no guarantee that you are going to be able to access the article in its entirety. So you might be going through Academic Search Premier and say, hey, this is a really promising title and the abstract seems interesting, but oh wait, you don't have access to the full text. By clicking on this box here, it's going to remove everything that you don't have full access to. So you wouldn't even see that cool title and the abstract that you can't access. Rather, it's just going to give you, bring you search results that you can review in its entirety. Also, this just makes it a whole heck of a lot easier on you, and I really wish more databases did this. Click on scholarly or, in parentheses, peer-reviewed journals. So with academic writing, since we want the best information out there, we rely on experts, and experts publish in scholarly journals or peer-reviewed journals. So by clicking on these two boxes here, not only do we have access to the article in its entirety, but we are also ensuring that the results that we get, we can make sure that they're appropriate for any kind of academic writing. And then we can also go over here as well, so we can limit our publication date. So maybe I am just curious about opioid addiction in the United States from, let's go, 2008 to 2018. And so that's going to limit my results to just everything published within that 10-year gap. You don't have to limit your searches by years, but again, if you are looking within a specific time frame or you find that analyzing it through a specific time frame would be helpful, that is an option available to you. You can also select the language here. They do publish or provide journal articles that are written in languages other than English. So if you are saying, hey, I really want to find, an Italian journal or a Japanese or a Korean journal on a topic that I'm exploring because it just happens to be relevant, then you can click on that as well. But I will say that oftentimes you do have to be very fluent in the language in order to follow along with what the text is saying. So let's go ahead and search, and let's just see what we get. Okay, so from that we can see that our search results went down significantly. We went from over 20,000 now to about a little over 9,000. So let's go here, and we can see that these are all academic journals. And as I go through, if we look at this left-hand side of the screen, the current search, it shows me how I have filtered out my search results. And so if I want, I can change these at any time. So let's say I changed it to 2017. If I don't want anything published this year. So, and then it automatically updates my results. They went down a little bit, down to about 8,892. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go to just this first one. Okay, so because we clicked the full text box, we have access to it, which is great. And so that way, if we say risk factors for addiction among patients receiving prescribed opioids, a systematic review protocol. So I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. I think I could learn a lot from it. And I am not stuck behind any paywall or any question, anything that could prevent me from accessing the full article. So in this case, I just click on PDF full text and it pops up. And like most databases, Academic Search Ultimate does allow you to download the articles and save them on your desktop. So if you're at a place where the internet isn't very consistent, or like you're going to be traveling and won't have a Wi-Fi connection or anything like that, but you still want to read, you can certainly download those articles and just read them off of your desktop. Also, when we look at if we click on an individual article like we just did, we can also go over here, and one thing that I really like about Academic Search Ultimate is that it definitely helps with citations. So we can see here we've got the American Medical Association, American Psychological Association, so APA, Chicago, Harvard, Australian Harvard, MLA. So, and with these, they're already correctly formatted, so you just basically would go through, copy and paste, and your citation is good to go. Of course, when you do copy and paste, you want to make sure that all things are italicized, like the journal title, so systematic reviews, and, just making sure that that information is correct and didn't get lost during the copy and paste process. All right, so let's return back to our PowerPoint and discuss the lecture assignment. Using the considerations we've discussed, I'd like you to perform a search using Academic Search Ultimate that will help you develop material for your current project. After you've done that search, I want you to compose a brief write-up, so about 75-ish words, detailing your research process using Academic Search Ultimate and discussing the implication your results have on your current project. You can sort of see this as a research narrative, so information that you could discuss, the type of terms that you decided to search, the different filters that you put on, so, did you click scholarly peer-reviewed articles, full text articles? Did you limit your search results by years or by journal, perhaps by author? So what did you do in order to find the articles that you did? And based off of what you found, how is that going to impact the current project you're working on? Maybe it will help you better understand a certain perspective, as you're creating that spectrum of perspectives. Maybe you found a really great article that could serve as an entry in your annotated bibliography or a piece of evidence in your civic engagement argument or your multimodal redesign. So basically, I just want to know how, what did you do on Academic Search Ultimate, and how do you think it's going to impact the project that you're currently working on? All right, everyone. So that does it for this lecture. If you have any questions or if there are any concepts that I can speak to further, please don't hesitate to contact me. All right, everyone. Until next time.